Hi, this is Anilamation, and in this tutorial I'm going to talk about how to view layers and channels and also how to create them using the shuffle mode. Here in this scene I have a few images that I want to go over and show how to read them in terms of layers and channels. This first image is a transmission pass rendered in Maya using Arnold AOV passes. On the first row of items in here, this is where all the layers reside, okay? And you can remember this because you're gonna see the word other layers. So you know these are layers. Most of the time you're going to see these default layers. Inside other layers, there are empty layers and are there by default, either from other applications or some are from Nuke. So what are layers? Layers hold many channels or just one channel. Looking at this other image, see again I have RGBA and alpha. The alpha is empty again, while this EXR open file has multiple layers. You can see here is the RGBA, the usual, the default. We have an alpha channel, this is the alpha, and because it's a layer, is dumped on the red. But if I go and check out its alpha, the original alpha here, then I should be seeing white. Okay, so going back to the layers down here, we have a diffuse, we don't have a shadow, but we have a specular color, and we have a transmission layer. Again, remember, these are layers, meaning that they can have one or more channels inside, and they can be put together in one asset, like in this one. I have just one EXR file with many layers inside. Now I can create new layers just by clicking here, and let's say this is the subscattering, and then I can go ahead and flood with channels. Okay. Now when I create a new layer, you're not going to see anything in there because it's just an empty layer, which is right here. So I can go back and forth from here to, and then we don't see it anymore. Where did the layer go? It went down here inside the other layers, and the reason why is because it's empty, and by default the empty layers are dumped inside this other layers bin. I have to go ahead and select it if I want to populate this. I can go ahead and bring in a shuffle node that can copy channels to create new layers. Shuffle node is right under the channels menu here to the tools panel. Up here you're going to see in one, which is this layer. We want this RGBA to be copied to this new layer we created, which is inside the other layers bin. Now this is equivalent to this subsurface scattering node. Is the same exact thing. Why? Because it just copied the RGBA value. The R channel goes always straight through here to this side and fills in the red channel for our new layer we created. Then the green channel of RGBA of this node goes through here and floods in with the green channel, and then the blue channel does the same, and alpha channel, which we don't have any, does the same. So now this new layer does have the same exact information as this read node, and I can prove it to you if I have the viewer selected, which is telling me that you are viewing at this sub S layer, and then I select my second node and I click 2. So the shuffle node is 1 and this is 2. Okay, 1 and 2, we're seeing the same thing. Next to the layers, there is another panel of items which is about the alpha channel you want to see in the viewer, which means that you can use any of these channels. You can use a red, green, or a blue channel for the alpha. So whatever you are selecting in here, it means that you are selecting the alpha that you want to view. Now for viewing the channels of the layers that we have selected, I can go to this third panel of items which are simply channels for the specific layer. So these channels here are the channels that we are viewing for this single layer. If I select the RGB, then I can go ahead and select the channel for this specific layer. Each of these layers have its own channel information. So the specular layer has a red, a green, and a blue, and also an alpha. Now, I am not seeing an alpha, and I'm not sure if I have an alpha here. But if I'm not seeing an alpha, and you're not sure if you have one or no, you should right away look at this second panel of items, because here is where you define which channel should be your alpha channel. So in this case, if I want to see if I have an alpha channel, I should not be at none. I should be at somewhere like RGBA alpha, which is the default. And it seems I do have an alpha channel. Okay, the white color indicates I have an alpha channel. The beauty of it is this though, that I can choose to have the green channel for alpha channel, or I can choose to have the red channel for alpha channel if I want. So right now what I'm saying is that my alpha channel is on the red channel of my layer. So you can choose to have it on the green channel, or you might want to choose the blue channel. Now if I go to the RGBA and check out the alpha again, I can go and choose the blue channel or the green channel for being the alpha channel in this specific case. If I go to this other image, again, I have here the green channel of my layer to be my alpha channel. Okay, so this is the alpha channel I'm looking at. If I look at the alpha channel, now this is the alpha channel, but what it's doing is using the green channel of my RGBA layer, or we can choose the red and blue, okay? Because the alpha channel in fact does not exist, as you see. If I go to these other images, I don't see any alpha channel, but I have red, green, and blue, and luma, but not an alpha channel. So yes, this is it. There are 3 panels that might be confusing at the beginning, but the first one is all about layers, and layers can hold 1 or more channels. The second one is what you are choosing to look as an alpha channel, and then we have the specific channels right here.